Evelyn.
Just want to let them know that they didn't break me.
Ah, Pretty in Pink, a John Hughes cult classic about the perils of being a high schooler. Whether they're overestimating their friends or telling unrequited crushes they die for them, it's all too relatable. Sure, parts of it feel dated now, but if you ignore the huge hair and the 80s prom dresses, it really does feel timeless.
I love this woman, and I have to tell her.
It's crazy to think that we almost got an entirely different ending to the classic film. The original ending absolutely bombed with test audiences, and with a particular cast member too. It would have seen Andy ditching Blaine to get with Ducky, and what a crime that would have been. We would have missed out on those incredible moments between Blaine and Andy at the prom, and If You Leave would have never been written. But where is the cast of the cult classic film now, and who did we almost get to see in some of those famous roles? From marrying college sweethearts to playing TV parents, here's where the main characters of Pretty in Pink are today. It turns out we have Molly Ringwald to thank for some of the casting decisions and a lot of the final ending of the movie. Even though she was just 17 while the movie was filming, she was incredibly instrumental in its production. She knew that audiences wouldn't be happy if Ducky and Andy ended up together. Something about their relationship just never felt right to her, perhaps partially because her on-screen friendship with Ducky was based on her real-life friendship with a platonic gay friend of hers. Now 55, she's had a storied career. 2 years after Pretty in Pink, she starred in For Keeps, her final teen movie. Since then, she's been in the Stand miniseries, The Secret Life of the American Teenager, King Cobra, and most recently, Archie Andrews' mother on the CW show Riverdale.
So who's going to the dance, besides your dad and me? Oh, and Hermione, whom I invited.
For the most part, Ringwood has led a pretty quiet private life. But did you know that she's put out jazz records, published 2 books, and translated a 3rd for English release? They've surely contributed, if even just a small part, to her $11 million net worth. One thing's for sure, she definitely knows how to keep things interesting. We do know that Ringwald has been married twice, and she's tried her best to be a role model both to her 3 kids and all the teenagers who looked up to her early in her career. She was most conscious of that during For Keeps. She made it clear she didn't want to make teen pregnancy look easy because that would defeat the purpose of the movie and send the wrong message to her audience. Jack Walsh may not have been the best role model for his own daughter, but Harry Dean Stanton sure did an excellent job portraying him. He was 39 when he played Andy's father in Pretty in Pink, and it was just one small part of the career that made him an iconic American actor. He pretty much did it all: mainstream movies, cult films, indie classics. Nothing seemed like it was off the table. Roger Ebert, a well-known and generally trusted film critic, absolutely adored him. He once said that no movie featuring either Harry Dean Stanton or M. Emmett Walsh in a supporting role can be altogether bad. He starred in The Last Temptation of Christ, both the Twin Peaks film Fire Walk with Me and the 2017 series, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, The Green Mile, and even had a cameo in the first Avengers movie.
And God sent me Ananias instead, and he put his hands on me, and I opened my eyes, and I was baptized and became Paul.
At the time of his death, Stanton had an estimated net worth of $10 million. He was so iconic that he was the subject of several songs spanning decades. Debbie Harry's 1989 song, I Want That Man, mentions him in the first line. And Stanton was so intrigued, he actually arranged to meet her at a London club so the two could dance after he heard it. Pop Will Eat Itself, Hayes Carll, and Ian McNabb have also all used him as a muse for some of their music, and who can blame them? Even up until his death at 91 in 2017, Stanton was a cut above all the rest. Jon Cryer was pretty iconic in his role as Ducky too, though nobody can quite touch Harry Dean. But did you know he almost didn't get the role? Though Anthony Michael Hall originally turned down the role because he didn't want to be typecast after The Breakfast Club, Molly Ringwald actually wanted Robert Downey Jr. to play Ducky. In the end, though, she agreed that with the rewritten ending, 20-year-old Cryer was the right choice. Ducky may have been based partially on Molly Ringwald's gay friend, but Cryer says that Ducky himself is not gay. He himself has been asked several times throughout his career if he's gay, though he's been married twice to women. Although his second wife, Lisa Joyner, also thought that might be the case because he never kissed her when they first started dating. He has 2 children, and at 57, though his net worth varies from source to source, it caps at about $70 million. That's partially because of the fact that after some trouble landing a successful TV show role, Cryer was eventually cast as one of the leads in 2.5 Men.
Well, I don't know what Jake is telling you about Charlie's dates, but he is a kid and he blows things out of proportion.
No longer was he just a Matthew Broderick lookalike, a fact that got him roles more times than you'd think very early on in his career. He even directed 3 episodes. Something writing and producing his 1998 film Went to Coney Island on a Mission from God, Be Back by 5 surely helped prepare him for. Molly Ringwald had a hand in casting Blaine's role too. Luckily, she was successful in pulling for Andrew McCarthy over Charlie Sheen. McCarthy was also part of the Brat Pack, a group of young Hollywood actors during the 80s that included Ringwald, and he was 23 when Pretty in Pink was released. He continued his Hollywood career as both an actor and a director. He starred in Less Than Zero, Weekend at Bernie's and its sequel, and had several guest spots in popular TV shows and roles in television films. At one point, he was actually let go from a guest spot on Law & Order: Criminal Intent because of his contentious relationship with Vincent D'Onofrio. McCarthy has also directed several episodes of TV shows like Good Girls and Gossip Girl. But the extent of his career doesn't end there. Now 60, he's actually an award-winning travel writer and editor. He's worth an estimated $12 million and was named Travel Journalist of the Year in 2010 by the Society of American Travel Writers. At one point, he was actually escorted out of an underground church in Ethiopia because he lacked the proper documentation to be there. Though he's had his various run-ins with the law and people around him, McCarthy has cleaned up his life quite a bit. He announced in 2004 that he had been dealing with severe alcohol dependency issues since he was around 12 years old. But back in 1992, he went to rehab and he's been sober ever since. An incredible feat, and one he should be very proud of. He's been married twice and has 3 children. His first wife was actually his college sweetheart. He reunited with her after years apart because he heard that she had a new boyfriend. The news reportedly bothered him for a week before he finally called her up to find out if she was really dating someone and asked her out for coffee. Though the two are no longer together, that's the kind of love story that's made for the movies. Pretty in Pink earned its fair share of applause when it was released. But even today, it's a well-loved movie about the struggles of fitting in and just trying to find somebody out there you love who loves you back. One thing's for sure, it wouldn't be the movie it is today without Molly Ringwald's acting chops or her help behind the scenes. She had the guts to tell people the truth, even at 17. Every main cast member has gone on to live extremely successful lives in Hollywood. So clearly, they were all doing something right. After all, the 80s just wouldn't have been the same without Andy, Blaine, and Ducky.